Welcome to Alternatify, where we journey beyond the familiar to explore parallel realities. Today we're diving into a truly spectacular thought experiment. Imagine our pale blue dot, Earth, adorned with a colossal shimmering ring system, much like the majestic Saturn. What would such a breathtaking celestial adornment mean for our planet and everything on it? We'll delve into the science, ponder the historical implications, consider the evolution of life, and simply marvel at the sheer unimaginable beauty of a ringed Earth. Prepare to have your perceptions of our home world utterly transformed. How might Earth acquire such a magnificent crown? One compelling theory involves the Roche limit. If a moon or a large celestial body ventured too close to Earth, our planet's immense tidal forces could tear it apart, scattering its fragments into orbit. Another possibility is the massive impact theory. A colossal collision, perhaps with a rogue asteroid or even a smaller planet, could eject vast amounts of material into space. This debris would then coalesce into a ring system around Earth. Then there's the intriguing captured object theory. Imagine Earth's gravity snaring a rogue object that already possessed its own rings. Our planet could then integrate this existing system into its own orbit. Regardless of the initial event, the formation process would be anything but instantaneous. It would unfold over millions of years, with particles gradually settling into a stable configuration, constantly evolving and interacting. The most immediate and striking change would be to our night sky. It would be utterly transformed into a dazzling, ever-changing display of light and shadow, unlike anything we currently know. The rings, reflecting sunlight, would create a brilliant glow, varying in intensity depending on their composition and our position. This could lead to areas experiencing a perpetual twilight, blurring the lines between day and night. Dramatic shadows and eclipses would become a regular spectacle. The rings themselves would cast immense shadows across the Earth's surface, causing partial or even total solar eclipses that could last for hours. Climate alterations would be inevitable. Changes in the amount of sunlight reaching the surface, filtered or blocked by the rings, would significantly affect global temperatures and precipitation patterns. A cooler climate might become the new norm. Even Earth's gravitational effects would subtly shift. The added mass of the rings could influence our tides, potentially leading to higher tides and increased coastal flooding in many regions. Life on a ringed Earth would adapt to an altered day-night cycle. The complex and dynamic light patterns, constantly shifting with the ring's position, would profoundly influence biological rhythms. Flora and fauna would evolve remarkable adaptations. Plants might develop specialized light-capturing abilities to thrive in varied illumination, while animals could exhibit enhanced nocturnal behaviors or specialized vision. The rings would create diverse microclimates across the planet. These varied habitats would foster an explosion of biodiversity as species adapted to unique light, temperature, and atmospheric conditions. Intriguingly, the rings themselves could become a resource. We might see creatures evolving to feed on ring particles or using them for shelter, nesting, or breeding grounds, creating entirely new ecosystems. Such complex environmental changes could even stimulate the development of advanced cognitive abilities. The constant need to adapt and innovate might push intelligence to new frontiers. Technological advancements would likely accelerate. Humanity might learn to harness ring energy, use the rings as platforms for space travel, or extract raw materials for construction and industry. For early civilizations, the rings would be a constant, awe-inspiring reminder of the universe's vastness. This celestial spectacle would undoubtedly inspire profound wonder and a deep thirst for knowledge. Astronomy would assume a central role in human society. The rings would influence the development of calendars, aid in navigation, and drive early technological advancements, shaping our understanding of time and space. Artistic and cultural inspiration would flow endlessly. Countless works of art, literature, and music would be created, all seeking to capture the beauty, mystery, and grandeur of the rings. Religious beliefs would be profoundly shaped. The rings might feature in creation myths, inspire new deities, or become central to rituals, seen as a divine presence or a cosmic pathway. Social and political structures could evolve in unique ways. The shared experience of the rings might foster new forms of government, law, and societal organization, potentially promoting global unity. A technological leap would be almost guaranteed. The rings would offer new materials, energy forms, and methods for space travel, serving as both a resource and a launchpad for humanity's ambitions. Despite their beauty, rings would present significant challenges. Climate disruption would be a major concern, with extreme weather events like droughts, floods, and hurricanes becoming more frequent due to altered sunlight. Infrastructure would face a constant threat. Micrometeoroid bombardment from ring particles could damage satellites, disrupt power grids, and compromise essential communication systems. Health hazards would also emerge. Altered light patterns could disrupt human circadian rhythms, leading to sleep disorders and other health issues. There's also the potential for harmful radiation reflection. The mental health impacts could be substantial. The constant environmental changes, the perpetual twilight, and the sheer scale of the rings might lead to increased stress, anxiety, and depression for many. Social and political conflicts would likely arise. Tensions over resource distribution, the management of environmental disasters, and the need for unprecedented international cooperation could strain global relations. The specific effects of Earth's rings would heavily depend on their composition. If they were icy like Saturn's, they would exhibit high reflectivity, creating a brilliant, dazzling display. However, icy rings are fragile and susceptible to erosion, constantly losing and gaining material. Their presence would likely contribute to a cooler overall climate on Earth. Icy rings would also be a significant source of water and other volatile compounds. This could be a valuable resource, potentially even providing rocket propellant for future space endeavors. Conversely, rocky rings would be darker and less reflective, offering a more subdued yet still impressive celestial view. They would be far more durable and less prone to erosion. Rocky rings would likely contribute to a warmer overall climate, absorbing more solar radiation. They would also be an invaluable source of minerals and raw materials. These materials could be crucial for building space structures, providing a readily accessible quarry for humanity's expansion into orbit. If rings suddenly appeared around Earth today, the initial shock and chaos would be immense. Daily routines would be disrupted, power grids would fail, and communication and transportation systems would grind to a halt. A scientific frenzy would immediately ensue. A global effort would be launched to understand the rings' nature, composition, origin, and their immediate and long-term impact on our planet. Economic disruption would be widespread and severe. The immense costs of adapting to this new reality would affect global trade, agriculture, and every industry imaginable. Political challenges would force unprecedented international cooperation. However, this could also lead to rising tensions over resource allocation and the management of global crises. The psychological impact would be profound. Widespread fear, anxiety, and depression would grip populations as people struggle to cope with such a fundamental and sudden alteration of their world. Let's indulge in some truly wild speculation. What if the rings were composed of exotic materials like dark matter? This could warp space-time, leading to entirely new physics discoveries and technologies. Perhaps the rings aren't just inert particles. Imagine a vast, interconnected ring-shaped biosphere orbiting Earth, teeming with living organisms. This could profoundly influence our climate and potentially even form intelligent networks. Or consider the most audacious possibility. The rings are not natural at all. What if they are a colossal structure built by an advanced alien civilization? This would raise profound questions about humanity's place in the universe and our understanding of life itself. Beyond the science and the speculation, the sheer beauty of a ringed Earth would be undeniable. The night sky would be a dazzling, ever-changing display of light and shadow, transforming our celestial views forever. Sunsets and sunrises would become even more spectacular. The rings would catch and refract light, creating more vibrant colors and dramatic sweeping shadows across the landscape. Dramatic eclipses, lasting for hours, would create periods of intense, otherworldly darkness. These would be moments of profound awe and perhaps a touch of trepidation. The changing seasons would take on a new dimension. Shifting light patterns caused by the rings would create an even more complex and dynamic environment, constantly evolving throughout the year. Ultimately, the rings would serve as an endless source of artistic and cultural inspiration. They would become a universal symbol of beauty, mystery, and the infinite, inspiring countless works across all human endeavors. We've journeyed through the science, pondered the historical implications, imagined the evolution of life, and considered the challenges and possibilities of a ringed Earth. It's a scenario that truly stretches the imagination. What are your thoughts on this incredible what-if? What challenges do you think would be most pressing, or what aspects of a ringed Earth do you find most captivating? Share your ideas in the comments below. If you enjoyed this exploration into a parallel reality, please give us a like, share this video with fellow curious minds, and subscribe for more thought-provoking content. We're always looking for new topics to explore. Keep questioning, keep exploring, and never stop imagining the possibilities that lie just beyond our current understanding.